Hi, welcome back to learning how to build a waffle structure. So where we left off was building the profiles, and now we're going to look at how to start to develop a system for notching, and to understand, or in other words, to map sort of where our notches are going to be located in each rib. So what we're going to be using is the intersection command and the divide command. So I have Y ribs and I have Z ribs. I'm going to set my view back to a 4 view. So I type in the top 4 view to return. I want to center my object in my model working space. So I'm going to type in zoom. I want to do all my windows and I want to do it to my selection. Now what we're looking for is to sort of a material assembly of a lap joint or a notch. So we're going to be intersecting. We want to find out where our Y's intersect our Z's. At the moment, these are surfaces, and we're going to build them into sort of give them the material thickness in a second. But for the moment, they're going to remain as surfaces. So I want to be able to find their intersections. So the first thing I'm going to do is be on an intersection layer, and I'm going to select my objects. Select my objects. When I look at my selection, it's going to tell me everything that was included in that selection. I want to make sure that the only thing I'm selecting is surfaces. A different way to do this is to do cell surface, and it looks like I'm getting both. Great. So my active layer is my Y intersection. So I'm going to type in intersect, and it's going to draw lines everywhere blue intersects green. Now let me turn off, in order to sort of get a better look, I'm going to turn off my surfaces. I'm going to turn my clipping planes back on, and in this case, let's see, I need to sort of rotate these. Yeah. Alright, and let's enable clipping planes here. And it looks like I need to reverse these. And sort of bring it down. Ah, there it is. Alright. So as we can see, let's bring these down and make these a little tighter. All right. So what I'm looking for is where my cuts are going to be located. So the blue indicates where my Y ribs are going to be cutting through my Z ribs, or at least where the intersections occur. So let's sort of move this up and sort of take a look and make sure that everything looks pretty good. So this is sort of just checking, right? So I can use this. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, what's happening here? Okay, that's alright. Okay. Alright, so here's 2, 3. Okay. So all those look pretty good. So now I can disable my clipping planes, turn them off, and let's go back to a wireframe view, and we can sort of reset this. And we would turn our blues on and our greens off, the same is going to be true. So here we can see, let's turn this to a lighter blue for a second. So here we can see where all those cuts are going to be. So what's important to know here is how our Y's are going to be slotted into the Z's. So in this case, if I go to my Z ribs and turn them off and take a look at what's happening, I need to cut my green at the edge, but it can't go all the way through, because otherwise it'll I'll lose the integrity of the system. So I need to be able to split all of my intersections in half, and then give one half to my Z ribs and the other half to the Y's. So in order to do this, let's go to our intersection layer and our blues, and we can turn off all of our surfaces, so all we're looking at is our lines. I'm going to select them all. I can do this in a variety of ways. I can use select curve, and they'll all pop up. Now I want to divide the curve in half. So we're going to say 2. And let's do this one more time. So I want to split the curve. So I'm going to select split. I'm going to the number of segments is going to be into 2. And so now I'll turn my gumball off so it's visible. And so now what we see is that each line is divided in half. That's perfect, because what I want to do is I want to map the outsides to my Z's and the insides to my Y's. So let's make sure that my intersection is sort of a good color, so we can use we'll use cyan and green. That's hard to see. Let's do sort of magenta and green. All right. So this takes a little bit of manual work, but you just are sort of selecting these one by one. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so I am sort of working through and just making sure that I'm selecting all the outside halves. Okay, let's see, one more. And let's map those here. So change object layer. Great. Let's do this one more time. So remember, I'm going to my outside layer here. If you have more complicated cuts, you can also turn one of your waffles on, like this, and you can lock it, and this way, so you don't select it, and this will help sort of making sure that you're selecting the right pieces. Okay. So let's change object layer. Okay, so if we go to this layer and we go here and we turn our surfaces on, so this indicates the length of our cut and our Z's. Okay, let's go here, turn our surfaces on, turn our Z's off, and this indicates the length of the cut in the Y's. Let's turn that on one more time. So if I look at a wireframe, so our Z notches in here, and it's going to look like this. Okay, thanks for watching. The next, we're going to lay these out into a to be laser cut. Thanks.